Once a year in the month of March, this brand releases a limited release watch to celebrate their anniversary and to mark their beginnings. And this year they seem to have strayed from the norm because they've released this dark green forged carbon case, and when you shine a UV light on it, it glows in the dark. But not only that, the lume plots are cut from solid blocks of Swiss superluminova and they're applied to that dial. Now this is a very different look from March LAB, and the watch has actually caught me by surprise because with its Le Jour Rare 68 hours of power reserve and the easy to get along with ergonomics, this watch has somewhat caught me by surprise. In fact, this watch is totally left field and I want to share my thoughts on it. So let's flip the camera and let's get close and personal. I first discovered this brand many years ago because of the specific signature that they leave in every design of their watches. From that 4 o'clock oversized crown with its guilloche engraved pattern, that date wheel which features a green third day of the month, again which symbolizes the month of March, and even the subtle green tinted casebacks that play really well with the overall running theme, as well as other key subtle design elements that seem to be implemented in a variety of their watches, regardless of the genre. Now, after spending considerable time on the wrist with this watch, I did manage to find only one technical fault. And I say technical because technically there's one area which I think could offer room for improvement moving forward, but I do have other gripes, little niggles, and maybe categorize them as personal dislikes, which I also will share in the gripes section of this video. But overall, this watch is a bit of a delight to wear on the wrist, and it actually caught me by surprise. Now, March LAB has sponsored this video, so I will of course leave a link in the description section. If this or any of their watches are of interest to you, by all means feel free to check them out. Now, getting into the physical dimensions and specs of this watch, I actually found it quite favourable. With a case diameter of 38 and a lug to lug of 43.8mm, it's got a very good wrist presence being a square watch, but also wears really well. Now, the watch also features a 7.4mm signed push-pull crown. The watch offers 100 meters of water resistance, and the total weight on the supplied strap I measure exactly 67 grams. And on the wrist, as you can see, the footprint does portray very good wrist presence, but is also an easy wear. And even that height of 12.5mm, I've not had an issue with, and married up with these woven straps, I think stylistically speaking, it's been done very nicely. And looking closer at these straps, because the watch actually comes with 2 interchangeable straps, the texture and the woven pattern is on a very high level. These jacquard woven straps are made in France by Julien Faure Ribbon Mill in Saint-Étienne. One of the straps is a black strap with a titanium buckle, whilst the other one is green with a black PVD steel buckle. So for me, on the outside looking into this brand, the attention to detail that I see that they put into their watches, I can see the same attention to detail going into these straps. And I'll also mention a bit more about that in the room for improvement section. Now, turning the watch over, you'll notice there's an exhibition case back. It's got the unique signature subtle green crystal following the running theme, and hiding behind that crystal is the Swiss Le Jour Rare G100. It offers around 68 hours of power reserve, hacking, hand winding, and it's a proper date movement. And as far as accuracy goes, this particular one has been running at +3 to +4 seconds per day, so that's well within spec. Now, as I mentioned, a couple of the heroes of this watch. Number one, that case, that forged carbon case. And secondly, those Swiss superluminova lume blocks, which are applied onto that dial. Because when you shine a UV light on this watch, not only do those lume blocks come alive, but so too does that case. It's got a very unusual, interesting vein running through that forged carbon, and you won't see that unless you actually shine a UV light. So it's like an Easter egg, it's hidden, it's there, and as an owner of a watch that's got a forged carbon case, you're pretty much the only one who's going to know that. And that's a pretty cool thing. Now, looking closer at that lume, you'll also notice that that gunmetal PVD handset is also lumed with Swiss superluminova. There's a very nice even glow, especially on those lume blocks, and it's actually quite a pleasurable experience seeing this watch light up. When you come out from the sun into a dim environment, into a room or something, this thing glows. It looks pretty cool. Now, for me personally, when I approach watches, the thing that I try to get out of a watch is how well does it behave? How do I get along with a watch? Because there's watches that I've had in the past that they've either been too big or too small or uncomfortable. Something's bugged me about watches, and none of the watches are exempt. I've not found a perfect watch yet. I've got a lot of watches in my own collection. I've had a lot of watches in my own collection and a lot of watches coming through my hands. And with this particular watch here, there's one technical fault that I found, and looking at the gripes or room for improvement section, with this particular watch, the lume on that handset is nice, but it's not long lasting. I love the lume on the solid lume plots around that dial. They're absolutely great. They're bright, they're clear, they're a joy to look at, but the handset just seems to not keep up. Now this is not a diver, so I didn't expect anything special, but the fact that they've put lume blocks on the dial, it just would have been nice. A couple more applications of superluminova on that handset really would have been a welcomed addition here. Now it's not a deal breaker, but I'm mentioning it nonetheless because if you're expecting to wake up in the morning, check out your watch and say, oh, what time it is, it'll be very bright around that dial, but the handset will be very dim. So just putting it out there. Next thing that I want to talk about on this watch is these straps. I think the quality of these straps and the craftsmanship is absolutely top notch here. Not only in the visual appearance in what I see, but in the actual feel, in what I'm feeling from these straps. They're not your standard strap. They're not your standard NATO style strap. These are actually very, very impressive. But in adding a single pass strap to a watch like this, you're also hiding that green exhibition case back with that La Joue movement. Now some people don't mind, that's fine, but I think if you're going to put an exhibition case back on a watch like this and put a green sapphire crystal, at least show it off. So this is more for the strap manufacturer. I like the straps, I think they're brilliant. Now in saying all that, I do like the fact that they've used 20mm spring bars, your standard spring bars, to actually attach the straps to the watch. So interchangeability is quite easy, and matching this watch up with any straps of your choice, from leather to rubber or whatever you want, is actually quite easy. But putting it out there to this particular strap manufacturer, I think the straps are of exceptional quality. I really can't deny how good they're made, that's a given. But I think moving forward, if they can produce a two-piece strap, that would be a welcome addition as well. And lastly, this watch being an anniversary model, it's limited to 169 pieces only, and it comes in at a retail of €2,495. Now that's not an inexpensive watch by any means, but it is a very different looking watch, and from what I've experienced, a very well made watch. So I like the fact that this brand is standing true to its heritage, with all the consistency of the elements done in a way that clearly demonstrates a design language and a very unique signature. As I mentioned, for me personally, trying to get along with a watch is more important than technical aspects, and I've really gotten along with this. It's been a stealthy yet really refined experience on the wrist. I hope my video does this watch justice, because the actual watch in the hand is quite beautiful and very nicely done. The fact that they've toned down the crown and that case back by applying a PVD coating really makes them subtle and in the background, and brings out the hero of the watch, which is that forged carbon case, that dial which mimics the texture of that strap, and obviously those applied solid Swiss luminova blocks that just seem to work really well with this piece. So I hope you enjoyed that, my take on this anniversary model from March Lab. This particular watch has caught me by surprise. I normally expect a highly polished case, stainless steel, titanium, and coming out with forged carbon and introducing green in such a depth and a good color tone, married up with these artisanal type straps, I think they've done really well. Not inexpensive, and again, not without its flaws, but then again, there is no perfect watch. So hit me up in the comments, let me know what you think of this particular watch. I'm always looking out for unique, different shapes, different styles, different ideas when it comes to watchmaking. And in this particular release, I think they've ticked quite a few of those boxes. So thanks again for watching, be well, continue to enjoy this hobby, and as always, do your own research when sourcing a watch, and try not to spend too much money in doing so. Thanks for watching.